Welcome everyone to this session to learn about soil and the Save Soil movement. It's wonderful to see all of you standing up to become the voices for the soil. This is an opportunity for us to be a part of this movement to revive soil and make a difference in the well being of all life forms on this planet. With the necessary support, we can make this the most impactful environmental initiative to date. We've all heard of climate change issues, and we're increasingly experiencing more and more heat, drought, wildfires, flooding and erosions in the coastal areas, declining water supplies, glaciers melting, warming oceans, and rising sea levels. And most of us have learned that the climate change issues are mainly attributed to burning of fossil fuels, emission of greenhouse gases, industrial activity, deforestation, plastic pollution. These are all definitely issues that need to be addressed. But the elephant in the room that no one is talking about is soil degradation. This accounts for 35 to 40% of the climate change issues, but it receives only 4 to 5% of the climate change budget. Through the Save Soil movement, Sadhguru wishes to shift the narrative to soil extinction as the most overlooked and threatening issue. Since all of us, Earth Buddies, I hope all of you have signed up as Earth Buddies, are going to play an essential role in taking this message to the world, it is very important that we have a very good understanding of what soil extinction is about and how the Save Soil movement is poised to address this issue. We are not scientists, but we are concerned citizens. It is hence important that we voice out soil concerns in ways that are in line with science and the Save Soil movement. So people realize the gravity of the situation and can relate to it. Sadhguru has encouraged all of us to equip ourselves to speak effectively about soil for at least 1 minute. In this session, we want to provide the necessary support so you can talk with ease about soil concerns. So today we will be looking at soil in much more detail. We will also cover the progression of Sadhguru's environmental initiatives over the past 3 decades to understand why Conscious Planet and Save Soil movement today. We will explore different ways and tools through which we can contribute to the movement in our own ways. So why Save Soil now? Is this a new project that Sadhguru has come up with? This endeavor has actually been in the making for 3 decades. From the greening of the Velangari Hills around the Isha Yoga Center in South India, which was a local project, moving to Project Green Hands, which was a statewide project to enhance green cover, to Rally for Rivers and Conscious and Kaveri Calling, a nationwide project to revive India's rivers, and now Conscious Planet and Save Soil movement, a global initiative. 3 decades of environmental work we would like to share with you in Sadhguru's words.
Well, a tragedy is unfolding. Most people will see tragedies only when it comes with a bang. But if you're sensitive, you can see it happening all around you. It's not that suddenly we thought of Save Soil movement. Last 26, 27 years we've been working on this.
So some of the world bodies, what they predict is, in another 25-30 years, India is going to face such a serious drinking water shortage. In the last 15-20 years, many small streams and rivulets that you had seen when you were children no more exist. They're just gone.
This is not a joke. This will bring untold suffering to human race, untold suffering.
the way you're handling the land, in the next 15 years' time, there'll be no monsoons for you. Only storms will come, huge fury of rain which will just drain the soil.
Both environmentally and otherwise, it looks like our intention is to leave a desert for our children, not a live world. It's time we did something about it. If we don't do this, there is no point being a human being. These 60 million people in Tamil Nadu, if they realize what needs to be done, just in 5 years' time you can have the whole place green.
Today, the spotlight is on a project called Green Hands in India.
We started a mass campaign and 6 years I spent planting trees in people's heads. That's the most difficult terrain, believe me. It's unfortunate that 7 lakh trees is a Guinness record. I want to see that everybody breaks the record. $114 million trees if you plant in Tamil Nadu, 33% green cover will be there. So a time has come, if you don't fix it, there'll be nothing to fix after some time. The planting trees thing came up essentially because we wanted to save the soil. If farmers are committing suicide, just know it's not the bank, it's the land. The land is getting weaker and weaker.
Yes, we're pumping poison into the earth like crazy. Suppose all the worms got poisoned, they died in big numbers, let's say. People will die in millions, just like that.
I took thousands of people, what they're breathing out, the trees are inhaling. What the trees are exhaling, they are inhaling. Bringing this experience into people, that what you think as myself is not within the boundaries of your physical nature, it goes well beyond that. This is not a protest, nor is this an agitation. This is a campaign to raise awareness that our rivers are depleting. Everyone. When I say everyone who consumes water must rally for rivers. Why this journey? It may not happen in our lifetime, but we have to set the direction now for a solution. The water that comes down in the form of rain, we are not able to put it into the soil, mainly because there is no organic content and there's not enough trees and vegetation. If we plant these 242 crore trees, your lakes will be full, your wells will be full, above all, soil will be damp most of the year, and that is what is needed. This is why Kaveri called it.
The very body that we carry is soil. Without soil being rich and well, this body and every other life cannot be well. So in terms of ecology, in terms of climate change, the most important thing is that we need to have a conscious approach as to how we manage our soil, how we rejuvenate our soil, how we revitalize our soil.
Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years, because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere, to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
Our future, our children's future, and our planet's future depend on it.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
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 Now let us learn about soil and soil extinction in depth and see how it is contributing to a variety of issues that we're facing and how the Save Soil movement can address these issues. If you look at this picture, for thousands of years, our soil has been the way we see on the left. But in the last few years, it's turning into sand, what we see on the right. What do you think is the difference? It's the organic content. Organic content is the living part of the soil. Anything that is alive or was once alive. In agricultural lands, it basically comes from the litter of plants, leaves, and everything else, and animal droppings. Soil needs to be covered under vegetation, whatever kind, plants, trees, shrubs, grass. But today, most of the agricultural lands have almost no vegetation. Every time we harvest, in a way, we take soil and organic content out of the land. But there's nothing to replenish the soil. Even after harvest, the land is kept bare and exposed to the elements most of the time. This leads to soil extinction, which means soil is losing its organic content and is turning into sand. Soil needs at least 3 to 6% organic content to be alive. How much soil have we already lost? Soil loss is happening worldwide. The US has lost 50% of its topsoil. In India, 62% of the soil has an organic content of less than 0.5%. In other parts of the world, the situation is no different. In Europe, 75% of the soil has organic content of less than 2%. 2/3 of Africa is well on track to losing its arable lands by 2030. Worldwide, we have lost an astounding 52%. That's more than half of the cultivable soil on the planet. This is the level of damage which has already happened to the soil. And with the way we are currently going, 90% of Earth's soil could be lost in the next 30 years. That is why the urgency to reverse the situation, and hence, Save Soil movement. Soil degradation is impacting us in more ways than we actually realize. Let's look at the connection between soil degradation and some of the biggest global issues today. As we speak, over 800 million people already suffer from hunger worldwide. That's more than twice the US population. 95% of the food that we consume comes from soil. We depend completely on it for our survival. Today, our population is 7.9 billion and is estimated to reach about 9.2 billion by 2045, which is an approximate increase of 25%. However, our soil is not capable of producing more food because of its degradation. Scientists are saying that by 2045, our soil will produce 40% less food. By 2045, 25% more people to feed, but 40% less food. Can you imagine the suffering of the next generation? It will touch every part of the world, wherever we are. But this situation is very much avoidable by maintaining a minimum of 3 to 6% organic content in our soil. By reviving soil, we can enhance our crop yields significantly to provide food for everyone on earth. It's not just about the quantity of food, but also the quality of food. There is a vast difference in the nutritional value of the food that we're consuming today and the food that our parents or grandparents consumed. Today, it takes 8 oranges to get the same amount of vitamin A that our grandparents used to get from 1 orange. Not only this, in the United States, the mineral content in vegetables has dropped by 87%. That is almost like no minerals. In India, the protein content in vegetables has dropped by 60%. We see similar trends everywhere. This phenomenon is spreading all over the world. Vitamin D deficiency, vitamin B deficiency, iron deficiency have become far too common. You may be surprised to know that already almost 2 billion people suffer from nutrition deficiency worldwide. That's almost 1/3 of our entire population. We are trying to compensate for the nutritional deficiencies with a variety of supplements, but we know today that our body does not absorb vitamins and minerals as it does from fruits and vegetables. The next aspect is soil biodiversity, the life in the soil. Do you know there's a whole universe of creatures under our feet? Apart from earthworms, there are zillions of lives that thrive in the soil. In fact, 87% of all living life forms depend on soil. Just 1 teaspoon of soil has more organisms than our entire population. It is this biodiversity which makes soil alive and supplies so many nutrients to plants which grow our food. It is this biodiversity from which many of our medicines are cultured. But the unfortunate reality is that every year, close to 27,000 of these species are going extinct. Entire species. But if the soil has enough organic content, we can rejuvenate life in the soil. The next aspect is climate change. Are you aware that soil is closely connected to climate change, the extreme weather conditions and the global warming? Soil is the largest carbon sink on the planet. Soil that is rich in organic content can absorb huge amounts of carbon from the atmosphere and can actually cool our planet. Let's watch this video to learn how it happens.
If you're like most people, you're probably feeling a little hopeless about climate change and the damage we've done to our planet. Well, now there's a new way to look at climate change and how to deal with it that might just turn that hopelessness into hope. Climate change, as we know, is all about too much carbon in our atmosphere. But carbon is not our enemy. It's the building block of life. Everything alive is made of it, even us. The problem and the solution are simply a matter of balance. Let's step back and look at the 5 pools where carbon is stored on planet Earth. Starting about 500 million years ago, when plants first appeared on land, carbon began to cycle in an amazing balance between these pools, a balance that allowed for life as we know it to evolve. Then one life form, that would be us, figured out how to extract carbon from the fossil pool, which was pretty much a timeout zone for carbon. We've been burning it for energy, putting into play, and disrupting that balance. The way we manage land and do agriculture is moving even more carbon into the atmosphere. Specifically, we've moved 880 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is heating up the planet and destabilizing our climate. The oceans have absorbed a lot of this excess carbon, throwing off the ocean's balance, resulting in ocean acidification and accelerating a mass extinction of sea life. So in order to save life as we know it, of course we need to stop burning fossil carbon. The big question is, where do we put this excess carbon to get the cycle back in balance? The good news is that the answer is literally right under our feet. It's the soil. Plants, using sunlight and water, naturally perform photosynthesis. They pull carbon in from the air and turn it into carbohydrates, sugars. Then they pump some of these sugars down through the roots to feed microorganisms who use that carbon to build healthy soil. Voila, carbon moved. The plants pump it in, and the soil stores it. Nature's living technology is amazing. Unlike more carbon in the atmosphere, more carbon in the ground is good for us. It makes healthy soil, which is nutrient-rich and full of life and holds way more water. This means more nutritious food and crops that are more resilient in the face of drought. That's good news for farmers, families, and everyone who eats. Remember this, the way we grow our food, fiber, and fuel either puts carbon up into our atmosphere or pulls it down into the ground. The regeneration of soil is the task of our generation. Our health, the health of our soils, and the health of our planet are one and the same.
Vivid examples are the Dust Bowls in the US in the 1930s, when the drought-stricken southern plains suffered severe dust storms from Texas to Nebraska. People and livestock were killed and crops failed across the entire region. Let's watch this video to see how it happened.
Scientists are warning with increasing urgency that as temperatures continue to rise, so does our chances of seeing a resurgence of catastrophic drought and dust storms similar to the 1930s.
Let me tell you how it was. I don't care who describes that to you. Nobody can tell it any worse than what it was. That no one exaggerates that. There is no way for it to be exaggerated. It was that bad.
About 10 miles outside of town, the visibility was just very, very poor.
We stopped by the side of the road and waited until we could see.
I had to pull over because I couldn't even see the lines on the road.
We drove on home, and we found out when we got out, we were so short on oxygen we could hardly stand up.
There were times when I thought I'm not going to make it.
In December 2021, we saw the same Dust Bowl returning to Central America, reminding us that by keeping our soil barren, without green cover, and very little organic content, we remain more vulnerable than ever to man-made environmental disasters. The next issue is water security. Though we are receiving the same amount of water in the form of rain for the past 100 to 150 years, we are experiencing more droughts and floods because the degraded soil cannot hold the rainwater, as it does not have the necessary organic content to absorb the amount of rain it receives. In 2017, Sadhguru launched Rally for Rivers, the world's largest ecological movement, supported by over 162 million people, offering a sustainable long-term solution to water depletion and 6 Indian states have signed MOUs, Memorandums of Understandings, with Isha Foundation to implement river revitalization projects. 18 state governments are working to implement Rally for Rivers recommendations, changing the national discourse on how India handles our natural resources. Sadhguru drove across India over 5,700 miles in 30 days to raise awareness amongst the people and presented the Revitalization of Rivers draft policy to the Prime Minister. A simple solution to revive our rivers: plant trees across the river basin. As we saw earlier, soil that is covered with vegetation becomes rich in organic content. When soil has enough organic content, it becomes like a sponge. So when it rains, soil is able to absorb the water and hold it. This stored water is then released gradually into the rivers and lakes. But when there is no organic content in the soil, it's unable to absorb the water. So when it rains, floods happen. And when there are no rains, we see droughts. Let's understand this through a soil demonstration by an agricultural scientist.
I'm Andrea Bache, an agricultural scientist with the Union of Concerned Scientists. Today, I'm going to talk about soil, the dirt under our feet. I'm going to show you how soil can help protect our communities and the farmers who grow our food from floods and droughts. Here we have 2 soil samples, one that's healthy and rich in organic matter. For almost 20 years, the farm field that it came from has been protected and well fed. It's been covered with plants year-round and it hasn't been plowed. And here we have soil that's been left bare for many months of every year. It's also been degraded by regular plowing, leaving it less healthy. Now watch what happens when it rains. Hard. Our healthy soil over here is soaking up a lot of this downpour, like a sponge. And look what happened over here. The soil couldn't absorb the water and flooded. Today, much of the nation's farmland is treated this way. We plant crops that only grow for part of the year, leaving the soil bare and unprotected the rest of the time. Because this soil is healthier, it will hold water longer through times when there is little or no rain, helping plants withstand drought. The amount of water absorbed here might seem small, so let's see what this looks like on a larger scale. Imagine acres and acres of farmland made up of the unhealthy soil. The amount of water that isn't absorbed can run off and flood nearby communities. If the soil were healthier, it could absorb the water, and we'd see a lot less runoff.
So this demonstration clearly shows that healthy soil can ensure water for all. So if soil goes away, who will be impacted first? Our farmers, people who grow our food. You will be shocked to learn that close to 300,000 farmers have committed suicide in India since 1995. The main reason is that the farmers have become entrapped in a vicious cycle of debt. They have to borrow more and more money for chemical inputs, but their crop yields and incomes are declining year after year. On top of that, there are crop losses, some years due to drought, some years due to excessive rains. All this is because the soil in that region is no longer as alive as it used to be. It has become dry and broken. If soil is rich, will any farmer commit suicide? If soil is rich, will anyone leave their land and migrate to unknown places? We must understand, if a farmer loses all his crops, he and his family will have to struggle for food for an entire year. Because for farmers, the main asset is their land, their soil. Let's hear directly from some farmers what soil means to them.
ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅವಲಂಬನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಮಣ್ಣು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಸಾವಯವ ಅಂಶ ಹಾಕಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಮಣ್ಣು ಮೃದುವಾಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಕುಟುಂಬನ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಾರ ವಿಷನ ಹಾಕಿ ನಾಶಪಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮುಂದೊಂದು ದಿನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಸತ್ತರೆ ಭೂಮಿನೇ ಸತ್ತರೆ ಇಡೀ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಸಂಕುಲನೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸಂಪತ್ತನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋಂಥ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
1 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ನಾನು ಆಗ್ರೋ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಡ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಚೇಂಜ್, ನನ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಮಣ್ಣು ತುಂಬ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಚೆನಕೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಗಿಡದ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಎರೆಹುಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ. ಎರೆಹುಳು ಬಂದು ರೈತನ ಮಿತ್ರ. ಎರೆಹುಳು ನಾವು ರೈತನ ಮಿತ್ರ ಅಂತ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅದು ಬಿದ್ದಿರೋ ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದು ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಂಪಾಗಿರೋ ಮಣ್ಣು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಇನ್ನೂ 1 ವರ್ಷ, ಇದು ಒಂದು 3-4 ವರ್ಷ ಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮು. ಬಟ್ ಮಣ್ಣು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೂಚನೆಗಳದು. ಮಣ್ಣು ತೇವಾಂಶ ಹಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ 15 ದಿವಸ ಆದ್ರೂ. ಎರೆಹುಳು ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ.
ನಾವು ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ 1.5 ಎಕರೆ ಮಹಾಗನಿ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀಗಂಧ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ರಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯೋರು ಬರೀ ಸೀಮೆ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಹಾಕಿ ಮಣ್ಣೆಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ವನೇ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೆ ಕೂಡ ಉದ್ದೇರ ಅಂತ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಈಗ 2-3 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಗಿಡ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗಿಡ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಕಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಳಿಬೇಕದು. ಕಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದು ಕೊಳೆತ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಭೂಮಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀರನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿದಿಟ್ಕೋಣ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮರಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಸೊಂಪಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಿತವೆ.
ಏನೂ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಮನೆ ತೋಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಮಳೆ ಬಂದ ಕೊಳೆತ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆದಾಯ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬೇಸಾಯ ಮಾಡೋ ಖರ್ಚು ತಪ್ಪುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಹಾಕೋದು ತಪ್ಪುತ್ತೆ, ಲೇಬರ್ ತಪ್ಪುತ್ತೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಲ್ಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಕೂಡ ಹೌದು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಮರಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ಅಂಶ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಭೂಮಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ಅಂಶ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಮಣ್ಣು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಮಾಶ್ಚರೈಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ತೇವಾಂಶ ಕುಡಿತ ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಣ್ಣು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
How much water it can store means 800% of all the water that flows in all the rivers can be stored in the soil. This is the greatest dam you have, that if soil is kept organically rich, its ability to hold water is phenomenal. That's what needs to happen. If the soil is rich, our farmers need not be struggling on a daily basis. If the soil is rich, water will be there, vegetation will be there, everything that needs to happen will happen. Our very body is soil. The very body that we carry is soil. Most people don't understand this, unfortunately, till you put them in the soil as the last thing that we do. Till then, most people don't get it, but as we stand here, this very body is soil. The quality of the soil and the quality of the life that we are very directly connected. How rivers flow, how ponds are, how groundwater is, all this depends on the quality of the soil.
These farmer sharings give us hope that it is possible to revive soil within our lifetime and enhance farmers' livelihood. By doing so, we mitigate another issue that we are facing, which is the migration of people from rural areas to urban cities. It is a win-win solution for all. If soil is revived, if it has 3% or more organic content, we can mitigate these 6 big global concerns that humanity is facing today. We can ensure there is food for everybody on the planet, not only just food, but nutritious food for all. We can ensure that the biodiversity on the planet will be thriving. This will lead to a cooler planet. It will make sure that we have enough sufficient water for everyone on the planet, and also will improve farmers' livelihood and mitigate the migration from the rural areas to the urban cities. So what can you do as an individual? Should we recycle, compost, use renewable energies, and reduce water waste? All these efforts are fine to do, and we should be doing them. But they're not enough to tackle the immensity of the situation or the imminence of the issue that we are facing. So, should we educate farmers about not using pesticides, fertilizers, protest against the fossil fuel industry? So, this Save Soil movement is not against anyone or anything. This is the unique aspect of this movement. Everyone can be a part of this movement. Because of the nature of our economies and lifestyles, we can't simply press the stop button on fertilizers and fossil fuels overnight. So, how do we save soil? We need to drive national policy changes across the globe to ensure a minimum of 3 to 6% organic matter in the soil. You may wonder, why should we have a policy? A policy predetermines the course of action and establishes guidelines towards certain objectives. This is the only way to ensure soil health for generations to come. Do policies really work? Let me give you an example. In the 1970s, the scientists warned us that man-made chemicals like CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, in everyday products like aerosols, refrigerators, and air conditioners were harming the ozone layer. This is the layer in the atmosphere that protects the Earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun, which can cause skin cancers. In 1985, a hole was confirmed in the ozone layer over Antarctica and was rapidly increasing in size. The future could have been bleak, with skin cancers, dying plants, and damaged ecosystems across the world. In 1987, 197 countries came together and agreed to ban ozone-depleting chemicals by signing the Montreal Protocol. This policy has led to the phasing out of 99% of ozone-depleting chemicals. Today, the ozone layer is recovering, and at current rates, the hole will close completely around the middle of the century. This is the power of a policy. Let's hear more about this from Sadhguru.
So, the moment I start writing on March 21st, don't forget about me, this is not about me. Every one of you should make sure the world talks about soil, okay? If you register yourself as an earth buddy, are you an earth buddy? I'm calling myself a worm. Hello? Worm is not a bad thing, only fools think worm is a bad thing. You are a consequence of the worm's life. Worm is not a consequence of your life, just know this. It is because microbes and worms and insects are doing what they are doing, we are here as a consequence. So, let us not forget this and let us not get into our head that we are more important life than them. No, we definitely are a bigger possibility. But have we manifested that possibility in the world? Definitely not. We have caused immense damage to every other life. So, this is our effort. Why? Why can't I like this has become a thing wherever I go. I've particularly been in California for almost a month in the last 2 visits. And what I'm seeing is everybody says, no, I compost my vegetable waste. How many kilograms is that? Maybe 1 kilogram or maybe half a kilogram, maybe 2 kilograms, you ate 8 oranges. This is good, wonderful of you to think of such things, but this is not a solution. And somebody says, it's become very popular, with all due respect I'm saying this, it's wonderful work. Somebody is talking about a little big farm, some 8 acres somebody has transformed into regenerative farming. Yes, as an example, it's fantastic, but it's not a solution. Because today, let us say, this whole area, we will make this soil very rich and wonderful. But there is no guarantee that the next generation will keep it that way. They may do something else, they may mine it, they may do whatever. So what we are doing with this is, out of this nearly 20,000 acres, 70% we are committing as conservation, so that no generation can change this. This is important. So when we talk about policy change in the world, this is what it means. Once in the policy there is a change, next generation cannot change it. Somebody else, tomorrow a new owner cannot just plow it up and do what he wants. That will become the way of life. So this is why when you're looking at something so large, it is important you effect a small 1 degree change. This is a massive thing. When I say this is a massive thing, this whole economic engine on the planet is a massive, massive thing. If you try to make a U-turn right now, it will capsize and more people will suffer. See, tomorrow morning if you stop all pesticides, insecticides and fertilizers, believe me, at least half the population on the planet will perish within a year or two. It is simply not possible to do that. Tomorrow morning if you stop all fossil fuels just like that, once again half the population may die because of this. It's important that we don't think of juvenile revolutions. We need a very mature evolution. All you have to do is change it by 1 degree and hold it. You can only hold it when it's embedded in the policy of every nation. You hold this, if you wait long enough, this will make a U-turn. So this is what this movement is about. This movement is not against any industry. This movement is not against even those people who are causing immense damage to the planet. But they are causing that planet because we are all buying and marketing, we are all part of the whole thing. So it is not about all that. The important thing is soil means we are talking about agricultural soil. If you walk into a tropical forest, the organic content is over 70%, there is nothing to do there, it's fantastic, okay? It's fine. It is just that agricultural soil. Why I am talking about agricultural soil? This is one part of soil which is nearly 77% of the planet's landmass, which is daily tended to by human beings. The land that we are tending, if you do not transforming the deserts and forests in the world, what is that? Obviously, you're not interested in a solution, you just like to talk about it. It is entertainment. I'm saying, talking about things that we are not committed to change is just pure entertainment, isn't it? So, agricultural land is a land that we are tending to every day. Agricultural land is a land for which we have an umbilical cord connection of bread on a daily basis. This must change because this is 70 or over 70% of the land on the planet. This can change. There are many, many aspects to it which we will unfold, but all of you have to come together to enhance the message. For 100 days, you must make sure the world talks about soil, affecting the policy change. I have mechanisms to do that.
Now, how do we as individuals influence policy changes? Only when a sufficient number of people voice their concerns to save soil will our governments take action and make policies to prevent soil degradation. All of us have to come together to activate, educate, and inspire 3.5 billion people, that is 60% of the world's electorate, to speak about the issue of soil extinction and stand up to save soil. Sadhguru will be leading this effort. As you may already know, Sadhguru has started an 18,600-mile lone motorcycle journey on March 21st from London to South India, and will be riding through the ice of Europe, the heat of Arabia, and through the monsoons of India. In the midst of this arduous journey, Sadhguru will be conducting various events with the heads of states, influencers, decision makers, and citizens across the globe to garner support. You can follow along on the savesoil.org events page and monitor the newsletter and emails. Sadhguru will be talking about unique aspects of soil every day. During this 100 journey, we can become a strong voice for soil. So how can you contribute? You can sign up as an Earth Buddy if you have not yet done so. Educate yourself and stay informed on the soil issues and the Save Soil movement. Please make use of the resources that are available on the savesoil.org website. You can talk to your family, friends, colleagues, and inform them of the soil crisis and the Save Soil movement, and encourage them to participate and become Earth Buddies. Share and amplify all the content shared by Sadhguru about Conscious Planet and Save Soil on social media by posting, commenting, liking, sharing, tweeting, retweeting. Engage with the posts. You can become as creative as you want. Use this hashtag Save Soil on all your posts. So how can you get started? All the information that we have shared with you is at savesoil.org/toolkit. Let's take a look at the content now. So if you go to savesoil.org/toolkit, you will see there are different tags for the social media that's available. For Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, the tags are given here. The video section contains the videos that you saw here. And there are many more videos to learn about what the issues are and what the solutions are. The soil facts section has important facts and statistics about the soil issues and the Save Soil movement that you can easily share by clicking this icon. The digital assets section has many resources, including logos, postcards, placards, posters, slide deck, overview, and many more resources are available here, and you can use them whichever way you wish to. There are also designs for t-shirts and masks in the merchandise section. And there are templates to write letters to organizations and educational institutions. There are also resources available in Spanish. And as we get more resources in other languages, this page will be uploaded here. The messages section has messages that you can post directly on social media. This site is being constantly updated with new content, so please check back frequently. There is an Action Now button on the top right corner of the page. If you click on this button, you can go to the first tab to learn more about soil, the second tab to share about soil, and in this page, you will see there is a pledge page that you can use to pledge your support and create a pledge page. You can participate in the activity of the day, which shows the daily events that are happening. All the events will be listed. And you can also follow Sadhguru's journey and click on the playlist icon on the top right corner of the video here to open all the event videos in case you have missed any of the events. You can watch them again. So as you speak with people, you can share what inspired you to become a part of this movement. As Sadhguru mentioned, we need to equip ourselves to speak about soil for at least 1 minute. Once you have this in-depth understanding of the soil issues and the Save Soil movement, you will be able to do this effortlessly. One example of how you can structure your talk is, you can start with something that the other person can relate to. You can choose any of the issues that soil degradation is impacting. For example, I can talk about how soil degradation has impacted the amount of nutrition in the food when I'm talking to someone who cares about health, diet, and nutrition. If I'm talking to a colleague at work who's more interested in the global warming and climate change issues, I could talk about how soil degradation has contributed to climate change and global warming. Support what you have said with some of the statistics that you have seen here and is presented on the Save Soil website. For example, 60% loss of protein in vegetables in India, that soil contributes to 40% of this climate change issue. Soil is the largest carbon sink on the planet, and how enriching the soil and increasing the organic content can actually cool our planet. You can use any of these examples. Talk about the movement. Save Soil movement is a global movement bringing together people and leaders to restore soil health by instituting national policies worldwide towards increasing the organic content to a minimum of 3 to 6% in cultivable soil. Connect it with the issues that you're talking about and how the Save Soil movement can be a solution to these problems. Share with them the ways that they can be a part of it, how they can become Earth Buddy, and help amplify this message on social media and facilitate that. This is just an example. Take some time to review the materials on this website and the content. The more you learn, the better equipped you'll be to talk about soil and share with others. Just our commitment to the cause can inspire others to join. Once someone joins as an Earth Buddy, they can in turn watch this video and go to this website and learn more about how to speak about soil. We need to reach everyone. When we say everyone, it includes all the segments of the society, people from different age groups, backgrounds, everyone. Everyone who consumes food should be a part of this movement. School children can also be involved. They can help by writing letters to the presidents and the heads of state wherever they are. Let them express this in whichever way they want. College and university students can be involved in spreading this awareness. There are supportive documents on the website that we just showed you to help you to reach out to educational institutions, corporations, organizations, NGOs, political and government organizations. If you're aware of any film, TV, media, music, or sports influencers that you can reach out to, please do so. If you need any support, please contact us. Get active on social media. Social media is the fastest way to reach 3.5 billion people in 100 days. With this tool, it is very easy to reach 3.5 billion. It is not a big number. This is the most powerful means of communication of our times. The main handles to use on the various platforms are shown here. For Twitter, use @SadhguruJV and @CPSaveSoil, Instagram @Sadhguru and @ConsciousPlanet, Facebook @Sadhguru and @ConsciousPlanet Movement, and Telegram @Sadhguru and ConsciousPlanet. You can also reshare, retweet global authorities, celebrities, or fellow volunteers who share posts with the hashtag #SaveSoil to amplify this message. If you are not on any of the social media, like Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, please create an account. Please reach out to all your contacts and networks to raise awareness of this imminent threat. It's important to spend a minimum of 10 to 20 minutes a day just engaging with the posts. So now I hope you have a better understanding of today's soil issues and the Save Soil movement. We hope you will utilize the materials and the resources that we have shown you at the savesoil.org website to spread awareness of this critical issue. So right now, if we choose to act, we have the opportunity to mold our future and the future of generations to come. If we don't, I want you to imagine the suffering that our children will be facing, and all of us too. What answers do we have for them if they ask us, why is this happening? Why did you not do anything when you could? What kind of world did you bring us into? These are the questions that we will have to answer. Sadhguru, with his insight and deep sense of responsibility, foreseeing the urgency of the situation that we are all in, is throwing his life out to revive our soil. While he is doing this at his age, each one of us needs to do our part. We need to make sure that during these 100 days of the journey, the whole world will be talking about soil. This is not the time to hesitate. If we are not able to convey the urgency of this matter to even our close friends and family, how are we going to make anyone else see it? If we have truly seen and sensed the urgency of the situation, there is no option for us but to go all out. We cannot afford to wait. Let us come together and experience the joy and fulfillment of making this happen. Shall we do this? Are we all ready and geared up to go all the way out? Reach everyone possible? Sadhguru has designed a meditation specifically for the Save Soil movement. Before we close, we will go through this meditation. Thank you all for joining us today. Let us make it happen.
Jananam sukadham maranam karunam milanam maduram smaranam karunam kalavashadiha sakalam karunam samayadipate akilam karunam. Keep your hands open, sit with a slightly upturned face, eyes closed, and do the sound.
Stop the sound, keep your eyes closed and place both your hands upon the upper part of your chest, just beneath your throat, and sit like that with a slightly upturned face, eyes closed. Sivanage bandhana Yogeshwara Sivanage bandhana Bhuteshwara Sivanage bandhana ಲಿಂಗೇಶ್ವರ ಶಿವನಾಗೆ ಬಂಧಾನ ಜಗದೀಶ್ವರ ಬಂದಾನೋ ಮಾದೇವ ಬಹುರೂಪಿಯ ಕಂಡಾನೋ ಕಂಡಾನೋ ಈ ಜೀವಿಯ ಕಂಡಾನೋ ಕಂಡಾನೋ ಈ ಜೀವಿಯ ಜೀವವೇ ಉಂಡಾನೋ ಶಿವರೂಪಿಯ ತಂದಾನೋ ತಂದಾನೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಮೃತ ತಂದಾನೋ ತಂದಾನೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಮೃತ ತಂದಾನೋ ತಂದಾನೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಮೃತ. Please relax your hands and slowly, very slowly open your eyes.